Hi, this is Dana with Dana Digital Tutorials. Have you ever wondered if there was a way to create some of those informational slides that are different, that aren't boring, that maybe have information you wouldn't think to put on it? Well, in today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. Here with Dana Digital Tutorials, we help you master the tech like this just to make your life a little bit easier in your Etsy and print-on-demand shop. So let's jump straight into it. The first thing I'm going to do is open a new chat over in ChatGPT specifically, and I'm going to say, create, you could ask it for the information first if you want to kind of manipulate it a little bit. Create a how to download graphic in an AR of 4x3 for my Etsy shop. Now this isn't going to be exactly perfect. It is going to make mistakes. Typically, I'm going to ask it for information and kind of manipulate it more, but we're just going to jump straight to it so you can see how it does the graphic. And you can see now it's asking me for some clarifications. What would you like the how to download graphic to include? Here are some common elements. So you can see it already knows the instructions. And I can say, I could just say all of these, and we will let it go ahead and create the graphic. If you want to have specific language on this, this is where you could make the changes before you ask it to create the graphic. Now, I noticed that it is making a tall graphic instead of a wide graphic, which it will do sometimes. However, we can ask it to change this to a wide format. I could stop it right here, and I can say this needs to be in wide format. Or I can just let it run to see if there are any other changes I want to make at the same time. That is typically what I'm going to do. I'm going to let it go ahead and create the graphic and then see what I don't like and then make those changes at the same time of asking for a wide format. And you see it's doing a pretty good job. So what are the problems here for me? Well, it's not in my brand colors and it's not a wide format. But other than that, you can see it's doing a fantastic job. So I can go ahead and start typing my fixes I know that are here now. I don't have to wait for it. Well, and it's finished, but I don't have to wait for it to finish. And I can say this needs to include my brand colors of blue and pastel yellow. And if you've got blue, you probably want to be more specific, and you could call this steel blue if you want. And then if you're going to have that, I'm probably going to put a muted pastel yellow. Also, this is supposed to be AR 4x3, and it's probably because I separated it instead of saying just like this, I wrote of, and it can get a little confused, and I can say which is landscape. And then I can just press enter, and it's going to begin to work on this graphic. I will tell you that when it goes to create an image, it always starts by showing this preview of a square, but when it finishes, you'll see now it's adjusted to the wide format, and it's creating this slide. So what things could I do here? I could tell it to add my logo. I could tell it to leave a blank space so that I can add my logo. I can tell it to reverse the colors, make it more fun, add some flowers. There's all kinds of things that I could do. But once I get my first graphic created, I'm going to stay in this thread, and I'm going to tell it to create a matching graphic for a warning that it is a digital download only. And you can see here that it is now doing a pretty good job, but it's messed up the spelling. So what happens when it messes up the spelling? Well, you have a couple of choices. My preferred method is to take this into Canva or Photoshop, kind of put it as the background, and actually make my own slide with my own text. But it does give me the idea of what I am looking for, and I don't have to come up with it on my own. If I don't like the person and the little document, I can replace that in Canva. And I could then also fix the spelling, but it's giving me a really nice way to present. So I'm going to go and I'm going to say now create a matching slide for making sure that people know this is a digital download and not a physical product. And so now it's going to create hopefully something that matches. But again, if I'm taking this into Canva or Photoshop, I usually use Photoshop, but I know Canva is easier for many of my viewers, whichever one you prefer. Then the subtle variations, for example, if it changes the text font, or if it's messing up and flips the color schemes, I can fix that in Canva. What I'm really looking for here is the main layout with some ideas on wording. If I wanted more wording in this one that's up here, I could ask it to do that. For example, a wording change that you might want to make is, how do they download if they don't have an account? How do they download if they're on a mobile phone? How do they download if they're on the computer, which is what is included here? And maybe even a line underneath that says, and you can see it does say mobile download here, but I would want that maybe to be more prominent. But you could also have this small line down here be something that if you have trouble with your download, reach out to me and I'm happy to help. This helps reduce friction, which can lead to poor reviews on your shop when they feel like they can reach you. And you can see here, it did not make this a wide format, so I can have it rerun, make this a wide format, or I have enough of an idea. If I'm taking this into Canva, I'm probably not going to do that because I can see what I'm going for when I put this over into Canva. I hope this helps you create slides and use ChatGPT. I will tell you there is one more tip I have before we go, and it's a bonus tip. If you have a color swatch of your branding colors or your logo, you can add that. You can either just drag it straight in here, or you can click the plus and you can add it, and you can tell it to match the branding of your logo. So sorry. Tell it to not use your logo because it's probably going to mess it up. But you can say, here is my branding style. Match this. So you have all kinds of flexibility when you're having this system in ChatGPT create your images for your shop. I hope this really helps. If you enjoyed this, I have a free community over on School, and I am announcing a new paid community where I'm going to be helping you with niche trends. That's optional, but I will have all the information in my free group. I'll have a link down below. This is Dana with Dana Digital Tutorials, and you have a great day.